Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, whatever the fuck you're listening to this. It's the Gootz's Disney Pod with Ray Gootz. It's another week, and I'm here with Tarana Randall, the founder of Chasing the Dragon, the greatest comedy show ever, to feature Eric Andre, who used to bark for us, Jonathan Randall.
Hey, what's up? Yes, I'm so glad you're giving my credit as something that happened like way too long ago.
Listen,
that wasn't even good when it existed. Much
Eric
like
Andre
the movie we're going to talk about.
Eric Andre was on the show.
Eric Andre was on the show, and he's now on the Righteous Gemstones. Great job he's doing on it.
Oh, he's on the Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, great job he's doing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doubting that he did a really good job. I'm just surprised I always feel like with him, there's this project he was meant to do that he hasn't done yet. Does that sound weird?
Okay. I thought when he was the voice of one of the hyenas on The Lion King, I thought that was it. That was the role he was born for.
That's it. That was why he was put on this earth. No, I feel like
I think he's put on this earth just to frustrate Ray.
I feel like he had a meeting and he pitched something that was like literally going to be like the next Cheers, and they were just like, no. And in another dimension, it's like the biggest TV show on the planet. That's what I feel like he was supposed to do.
Oh well, I hope in that other dimension I'm on that show.
You're not, actually.
Darn it. Why can't I succeed in other dimensions either?
I mean, there is a dimension where you succeed, but he's right now
Thank you.
Podcast with me in that dimension.
What good would the multiverse be if there wasn't at least one where I'm a success?
I mean, theoretically, there's one where okay. So we're here speaking of.
It depends how you judge success, right?
Right?
It's all about how you judge success.
Yes. And we're here to talk about Ewoks, Battle of Endor. But before we get to that, Jonathan, the last time you were on the show was 2 years ago.
Jeez, what took you so long to have me back?
Well, I wasn't having repeat guests until I got to the Spider-Man films. So,
okay,
which was only in September. But what?
Now I'm swinging back.
You're swinging back. What have you been up to since February of 2020?
Well, let's see what happened. This little thing like the end of the world. So I've been enjoying that thoroughly. Been, still performing, making videos. Just trying to bring entertainment, joy, and awareness to the world.
It has been a weird 2 years, huh?
It has been, right? A lot has changed.
But a lot hasn't changed, too, which is frustrating.
Hey, isn't that life?
No, yeah, no, I know, but it's
As much
just
as things change, things still stay the same.
it's like a lot has changed, but like then you walk into a comedy club and they're like, we're still doing things like it's 2010. Just don't even think that we're ever gonna adjust the way we run business. I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, can be sad sometimes, but hey, just got to keep on going.
Well, you keep on. What are you working on now? You working on anything big?
Anything big? I mean, nothing. I don't know what you would consider big.
I don't know. Yeah, you cooking anything?
I'm representing Mr. Big in his sexual assault lawsuit.
Really?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
I don't know. I thought maybe you're gonna take another. I don't know. Maybe you know some. It's always funny when there's some comics who hide they have a day job and then they reveal it, and it's like they're like the head of like they're like the CEO lawyer. They're like this some CEO's lawyer for a Fortune 500 company, and you're like, but you wear sweatpants. And you talk about jerking off in front of your mom on stage. How the fuck? You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm like, wait, I don't remember that bit of mine. You're talking about somebody else. Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I don't have a day job, but
Other
I think I'm at a place where I might need one soon.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but hey, let's get back. Let's see. So we talked about the first time you were on, how you started stand up and what you were into as a kid. But now we're gonna talk. Were you into Star Wars as a kid? Are you into Star Wars right now?
I like Star Wars. I'm into Star Wars. I'm not like a super geek about it, but I'm a little nerd about it, I guess.
Yeah, so you're not like I saw yesterday. So I don't know if you noticed, but they're changing the name of Boba Fett's ship from Slave One to like the Firebrand or whatever this ship is supposed to be called, like the manufacturer's model, which I don't know. None of this, like it's just made up. You could call the fucking ship Yabba Dabba Doo. Doesn't matter. But you're not a big nerd.
And you have to use your feet to power it.
Yeah. You're not like
Flintstone jokes. What?
I know, right? We're cutting edge. This is by Chasing the Dragon should have succeeded. What I'm saying is like fucking you're not like super into like I don't know the difference between the Y wing and the A wing or the B wing or anything.
Oh, I don't know any of them. I was thinking about like I know like the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Yeah, I know some of the stuff. I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but I like Star Wars. I've seen all the movies. I've seen a bunch of the animated series. I'm into the Book of Boba Fett. I
still have to watch that. Which is
Mandalorian. Wild. I like. So I mean, I like Star Wars. It's fun. I like that kind of action adventure sci-fi with a mix of humor. It really is kind of like a precursor to like the MCU.
It's a precursor to the MCU. I think it's a precursor. I mean, it was really like their first Star Wars really like changed the course of how like movies are put out. I talked about that in the previous podcast. Like, it was the first movie that gave it. It didn't hold your hand. It's like there's a bigger world out there. We're not going to tell you, but you're going to get the gist of it. And it created like it like was just such a. Every summer since there's been Hollywood blockbusters. There's been like these fucking amusement park rides, and I think people forget how important the first Star Wars was.
No, huge. I mean, Star Wars, the whole franchise, it had such a big effect on like culture, in like our consciousness almost, and people love it. It's referenced all the time. TV shows, movies, like people just are obsessed with Star Wars.
They are. But I'll tell you when they weren't obsessed with Star Wars, which was in 1985, when this fucking thing came out. So Ewoks, Battle for Endor, it's the second Ewoks film.
Right? I was like, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh no, am I not going to be able to follow because I didn't see the first one?
This is the Empire Strikes Back of Ewoks films, by the way.
It wishes.
This is the one where the bad guys have had enough of the Ewok shit. Just let me give a quick plot summary for those who haven't seen. It's on Disney Plus. Finally, this is the first time.
I like how you say finally.
Well, I mean,
I've been waiting. What the hell? These Ewoks weren't good. I had to fucking dress up my midget girlfriend in fur.
Do you have a midget girlfriend?
No, never. But maybe I'd try. I think 5 foot might be like the shortest girl I've ever slept with.
Well, no, it's just because finally these two Ewok movies aren't widely. You can't just go get them. Like at least for years now, you can't. You just go to.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that. They suck.
Lucas did his best to hide the shit that sucks, and Disney is just like, nah, here it is. But I like that. I think we should have access to everything, like Star Wars. Like if you're a Star Wars fan, you should be able.
Oh, I
to
thought you were talking about drugs and prostitution.
And that too, yeah. Well, if you're a Star Wars fan, you definitely need some prostitution. But
would you have sex with a Star Wars like female alien?
I would bang the chick on Clone Wars.
Okay.
Ahsoka Tano.
Okay, but not when she's the young Padawan. When she grows up and becomes Rosario Dawson on whatever Mandalorian.
Yeah, isn't by the end of the show she's like 18? I think that's fine.
Okay.
Well, you would have banged an 18.
I don't know. Do the laws of statutory apply to aliens?
Look, if
maybe they're more advanced. Maybe they grow up sooner.
if I had an 18-year-old Jedi girlfriend and like people on Twitter on social media like raise a creep, I'd be like, she's a fucking alien. Can we? And she has a lightsaber. Like that's way more. She's got way more than the average like 30-year-old. All right.
Like what? Yeah. Who cares that she's 18? She's got tentacles.
Yeah. Is that part of her body? The tentacles.
I think so. Or I don't know, whatever. Or I was just talking about any random alien, not Osaka.
I'm talking about 18-year-old Osaka. I'm glad we went on.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I would, and I'd be proud of it. And if anyone called me a pervert, I'd be like, first of all, you don't know the customs on our planet.
And I just used the Jedi mind trick on them, and they forget all about it.
I mean, we don't know what if
this isn't an inappropriate relationship.
This is not an inappropriate. Yeah, she just does that on the TV. He's perfectly normal. She's perfectly normal. Yeah. But also, I couldn't date Ahsoka Tano. I'll tell you why. Jedis are not allowed personal attachments. That would lead to the dark side for her. So she wouldn't date me.
Okay, we don't want that. She's already has, Anakin as her Jedi master. So she's already like part lead to the dark side. We don't want her going all the way.
I mean, yeah.
But whatever, that doesn't work good. Not getting laid will bring you more to the dark side. Just look at the Catholic Church. Boom! Always ready. Always locked and loaded with the Catholic Church.
You were fucking ready to go. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Like that's the thing. Like Jedis aren't allowed personal attachments. It's like shut the fuck up. Then you wonder why like nothing has gone right for 50 years. Your stupid fucking religion. Like now you got Kylo Ren killing his dad. The Emperor somehow keeps coming back. You can't keep him down.
Maybe if Kylo Ren wasn't always Han Soloing, Han Solo wouldn't have died.
Yeah, like just fucking oh god. But what was the whole point? Why were we talking about banging Ahsoka Tano? Oh, why were we talking about? Oh, midget girlfriend. Okay, I was like, well, how do we get on banging? But I would. She's hot. She's hot as Rosario Dawson too. I mean, she's hot. She got tentacles in her.
Rosario Dawson dated Eric Andre.
I know.
Look at this. Oh my God, bringing it all around.
Do you think he ever asked her just like, oh, she wasn't cast this or yet, but he could have gave her the ideas like, hey, dress up like Ahsoka. I don't know.
A little role play. I've seen like videos where like women are like, if I showed up to our date wearing this, and it's like the slave Leia outfit from Jabba. Like, what would you do? And I would be so down with that.
Yeah.
I want to sleep with a girl in a freaking Leia slave outfit.
Were you into Buffy, by the way?
I mean, not particularly. I mean, she's all right, but now
no, I mean,
I'm
the show.
Because Joss Whedon is a dick.
Did you like the show before we knew he was a dick?
I was never really much into the show, but I did like the original movie.
Oh, okay. Did you read that article about him, by the way?
I didn't. I just read the headlines. I don't know what he did now. Ray Fisher sucks. He gave Gal Gadot a hard time. Like, who knows?
First of all, I just want to say this, and then we'll get back to the Ewoks. I think you remember from last time. This podcast will go all over the place, even though it says Disney podcast. It's basically number one. Zack Snyder's Justice League wasn't so fucking great that this guy ruined some American classic. If Zack Snyder's movie came out the way he wanted it to, people would be like, "This shit sucks." So like, I don't think he did anything that bad with that movie. I don't know what you think.
All right. I mean, hey, I wasn't the biggest fan of, I guess, the Joss Whedon Justice League. I mean, I guess I had high expectations being such a JLA fan growing up, reading the comics. And all
I think both versions kind of stink.
I definitely like the Snyder cut more, but I just think Zack Snyder got robbed. He got screwed out of the whole thing. He went through a tragedy, and the way the studio handled it and backed him up is just appalling to me.
I know, but he already proved he stunk with Batman v Superman, so why should he keep getting more chances to stink?
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I hated Batman v Superman. It was the worst film I ever saw.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about Ewok movie?
Actually, this Ewok movie is better than Batman v Superman.
No way.
I'll tell you why. Because the Ewoks act like Ewoks. they're not like cursing and
That's not true. All of a sudden they could talk.
Okay, they can talk, so they learned English.
And it makes no sense. Like they talk, but they're like idiots or they're like mentally disabled.
Well, they're learning.
Like,
they're learning.
They're learning.
They're taking ESL classes, okay, at night.
So if there was another Ewok, there was a third one, then they'd be more fluid in it.
They might. I don't know. I don't know who's teaching these guys. First of all, they're learning it from a 5-year-old girl. You know she's not very good at teaching them font.
Oh, well, she's definitely not a good actress.
She's not good at anything. Okay, so really quick, the story. In the last Ewok movie, a family crash lands on the Ewok moon. They save the dad from a monster. The little boy is kind of like a Luke Skywalker style hero, although he doesn't have the Force. The new movies, the second movie starts, these marauders with this witch attack, and they murder. Here's the big part. I think you see the little boy fall down dead, because I have this on DVD, and I watched this 2 years ago for the first time. I think you do see the little boy fall down dead in the DVD version. Disney Plus, it's off screen, his death.
Yeah, Disney Plus, she's like running away, and there's like an explosion, and she's like, they're dead.
Yeah, but you see him.
And her dad is the principal from A Breakfast Club.
And isn't he also the I thought it was Tom Berenger, the host of America's Funniest Home Videos. No?
Is that? Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe it is the principal from Breakfast Club.
I thought it was the principal from Breakfast Club.
That's why he went. So he dies too. They're looking for the power source. Her and Wicket go on the run because they kidnap all the Ewoks. They run into Wilford Brimley. That was Wilford Brimley, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's that all about? Like, I don't understand. All of a sudden, they like run into freaking Geppetto or something in the middle of the forest.
Apparently, there's a guy living on the moon. You know, people always get mad, but I'm like, hey, it's a moon. It's huge. I mean, conceivably, even if it's the size of Manhattan, there's reason to believe that they would not know about Wilford Brimley if he lived like miles and miles away. The Ewoks, is what I'm saying.
I guess he lived in a secluded area. He was such a curmudgeon. He wanted to be left alone, it seemed.
I mean, the Ewok village, from what I can tell from Return of the Jedi, is probably the size of Williamsburg. So that's a lot of ground they have yet to cover on the forest moon of Endor.
Okay.
But how big do you think?
They're kind of like Williamsburg. They're kind of like hipsters. They're like all the stuff they make by hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do make a lot of stuff by hand. They try to eat you, just like Williamsburg hipsters. You never know.
Can't really understand what they're saying.
Understand what they're saying, much like, well, yeah.
The neighborhood gets gentrified, I guess. I guess the Marauders are trying to gentrify the Ewok neighborhood. And by the way, why are they called the Marauders? They're like some aliens. Like, why can't they have some alien name? Like Marauders, I was like, are they just the Marauders? Or is like that's their species?
What was the name of the head Marauder? I forgot his name. It was like Ding Ding or something.
I do not know. But I don't remember the name. But I was not a fan of the makeup. Like, was it even Jim Henson Company, or was it like the people that got rejected from the Jim Henson Company did this movie?
I think it was whoever AT&T, whoever ABC could find that week to do the. Oh, also, magic is introduced. Not fuck you. We're not talking like Jedi magic. We're talking about straight up magic because we have a sorceress now running around like she came out of the He-Man show.
Yeah, what's that about? She turns into a crow all the time. And yeah, what is this magic? What is Warwick Davis like? Let's bring some of Willow into the movie or some shit.
Well, this is before Willow. The other wild thing is there's also like this little speedster alien creature. He's not an Ewok.
What is that guy? He's like a rat.
He looks like he escaped the Neverending Story set and like just showed up on the Ewok set. I'm in this movie.
And they make fun of him the whole time, how he's like an idiot, but then he's like kind of like smart. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and Wicket can talk. His eyes, the eye movement. I'll say this is the worst the Ewok puppets have ever looked.
Oh my gosh. I wrote that down. The eyes are so bad.
The eyes look so creepy. He looks like a serial killer. He's kind of like almost eye fucking little girl in some scenes. I'm not saying that Warwick Davis wanted to fuck little girl. What I'm saying is the Ewok puppet's eyes are just looking at her weird, right?
And it's creepy, like, how they are like best friends and they're hanging out and they're like sleeping together. Like, how old is this Ewok? How old is he compared to the girl? Like what we were talking before. Because I'm like, he's like, oh, you're my best friend. Let's sleep. I'm like, this is kind of creepy. You're my family now, Sidell, or whatever the fuck her name is. And she is such a bad actress. How do they have her in 2 of these movies? And why is she like, I felt like she's like narrating the movie too. She's like, we should go over there now, Wiccan. Hey, Wicket, what's his name? Wicket?
Wicket, yeah. Well,
We should go. Hey, Wicket, did you hear that noise? I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why is this girl like?
Well, in the first movie, they had the little boy to kind of like guide the story, even though he was a worse actor, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. But he's dead now. I gotta admit, it's what a brutal way for a TV movie on Saturday. This was originally broadcast on Saturday nights. A TV movie on Saturday night to start that's meant for families to start the. Hey, remember that Ewok movie you liked a year ago, even though you're a child with bad taste? Well, we're gonna murder the whole fucking family to start it off.
Was anybody excited for it? Like, yes, there's a sequel. I'm going to Endor. No.
Yeah, like
killing the whole family.
They would. Can you imagine if nowadays, like, let's just talk. Like, I'm talking about TV. Even though they don't really make TV movies, but let's just. I don't know. You're making a movie for Freeform, and it's a sequel to another movie that you just made for Freeform, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna start this one with the whole family dying. Like, they're gonna get murdered. They're gonna get massacred. You'd be thrown out of that fucking. It'd be like, we're getting a new writer. You fucking idiot. What do you? You know what I mean? The 80s were like so brutal, but I kind of like the fact that that we grew up in an era where like our entertainment was very brutal and kind of beat us over the head. The world sucks. I don't know. I like that. I don't know how you felt.
I understand why do they want to leave Endor so much?
Well, they crash landed on Endor in the first movie.
Yeah, but then like the Marauders, why do they want to leave?
Oh, I guess so. I guess so. They become space pirates. I would have.
They're like obsessed with the power.
I don't think they really knew what the power did. I think they just like power.
Yeah, what the weird witch lady? She told them about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just get
no redemption in the movie too, because then like the witch lady, she gets double crossed by the Marauders and they lock her up, and then like Wiccan's gonna like let her out of jail when they're all making their mass escape, and then little girl's like, no. She's evil. Like, hey, it's so much for forgiveness, right? Let's little bitch holds a fucking grudge.
Hey, man, she was there, dude. If some bitch was there when my dad died, it was like, nah, shoot him again. I'd fucking be like, yeah, keep him in a cage. I don't give a shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you killed my dad 4 days ago, bitch. Like, fucking, I'd be the same way. You know, my annoying, stupid brother.
The magic lady was where, yeah, well, she needed the ring to turn into the Raven. Is that what it was?
I'll tell you what, man.
That wasn't no Kyber crystal. Hey, Star Wars nerd.
Star Wars. I'll tell you what, though, man. If my family, if I had 2 kids and a wife, and then I failed to protect my son and my wife, and they got killed by these goofs, I would. And if I got up to heaven, if there is a heaven, I say to God, you just send me to hell. I just completely failed. My family got wiped out by these retards. Are you fucking kidding me? I couldn't protect my family from Muppets. Like, how does that man look himself in the mirror? I mean, he doesn't. He's dead.
Oh, maybe there are mirrors in heaven.
I would just feel so embarrassed. Like, my son got wiped out by this lady who looks like she belongs on Dallas. Are you kidding me?
By the way, that sounds like the name of like a horrible one-man show. Like, there are no mirrors in heaven.
Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to call my one-man show about my time. Meeting Bob Saget at Scleroderma. I wrote that article, man. So,
you wrote it. Good.
I'm nervous to get it out there, but this is what I realized real quick. I want to do more serious writing. I want to write a book. Like, when I talk about serious writing, I'm talking about like writing novels, not like, you know what I mean? Not just stand up, right?
Right. Okay.
And I know the only way.
Not just being in a very serious mood when I write things.
Yeah, the only way to get there is I kind of have to write about myself, and I kind of have to write about my past. And unfortunately, my past is I was a comedy club manager for 12 years. So a lot of my experiences are things that happened during those 12 years. And it's like, I know like people like Lewis or whoever or Greg would get mad at that when I start really writing. And I know Lewis would not like this piece. But it's like, hey, man, and I wrote this. Hemingway had the Spanish Civil War to draw from. I have fucking scleroderma and new class clowns. Like, what do you want me to do? That was my life.
Right.
You know?
So yeah, you got to write about what you know. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Those people, they didn't have your back. Why should you?
No, they didn't have my back. Yeah, it's exactly it. It's like that. But the same thing when I did the podcast. It's like they'd ask me questions about my mom. And then they got mad when I answered. Me and my mom, a big debate was me wanting to quit and go to stand-up full time. My mom wanted to keep my job as a manager. That's why I was there for so long. And when you asked me that you and your mom fight about something, that's what we fought about. And that's what Lewis got mad about. Man, that's my life. I'm not trying to say that to disrespect you. I'm sorry I'm going off on this. I don't give a shit.
No, hey, it's okay. You're passionate.
That's my life. That's what I went through. That's what I went through with my mother. like, what do you want me to do, bro? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, if someone asks me, like, I'm not saying that to disrespect the club or disrespect you. I'm fucking saying it because someone asked me a question. That's what I went through. And if you don't respect what I went through, that's because you don't respect me as an artist. You respect me as
Yeah, they don't respect you anyway, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. Go fuck your mother. So anyway, not you. I'm sure your mother's.
Oh wow, thanks. Leave my mother out of it.
Hey, not your mother. Hey,
She died on Endor.
So Wilford Brimley's very rude to this little girl whose whole family got killed. Look, I don't want to be alone with little girl either. I live alone, right?
Right.
If the little girl showed up, was like, my whole family was just shot to death. I'd be like, all right, we'll figure this out. I didn't, sorry.
Well, I think, first of all, it's weird because he doesn't want it, but he does want it.
It's like he played hard to get.
Where he's like, I hate them, but he's like, I hope they stay. Like you dirty kids. He's like, do you want some food? Like he's desperate for love, but he has like a shell around him because he's been hurt before.
We've all been hurt before.
His best friend is some speed rat or whatever it is.
His best friend's dead.
What's it called? The rat thing. Teak.
But yes, Teak is his best friend. But also, didn't his partner die? They were in the ship together.
Well, yeah, I guess they flew there together. I don't know. It's not very clear. That's how we found out about the power, the Marauder, or whatever. By the way, we didn't mention this. Joe Johnston was the second unit director on this film.
Oh, who's that? It sounds familiar.
He's a director. He directed like the first Captain America movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is why the first Captain America movie doesn't hold up, because he learned how to make movies.
Oh wow. I like the first Captain America movie, but Joe Johnston directed a lot of movies. I think he's a good director, and yeah, it was crazy to see.
No, I do. I think the secret to the Captain America movie is you have to watch it first in a rewatch of the Marvel movies. If you watch the Marvel movies out of order, like let's say you watch you're just watching Marvel movies and you watch Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, and you put on Captain America, it just doesn't. Captain America's a good place to build from the other movies. It's a good start.
Okay, yeah, you got to watch that in the beginning.
Yeah, you can't watch it ninth out of what I mean. I don't know, but if I had a girlfriend, he goes, I never seen the MCU. I divorce. I wouldn't chew in my girlfriend. But the first thing is watch Captain America first, and that builds upon everything because they do. They mention Wakanda. They mention vibranium. They mention Starks. They mention Hydra. There's so much that later on
they touch upon. Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch Agent. Although I like Agent Carter. That's a good show.
Okay, I didn't watch it.
Yeah. So Joe, what other facts? I feel like you have facts for me.
I mean, I don't know facts. First of all, well, the directors of this movie, I think they also directed Pitch Black or something.
Oh,
or Riddick.
80s, the 80s version or the Vin Diesel version?
Oh, there was another one?
There was an 80s horror movie named Pitch Black.
Oh, so maybe it was that one, and I just thought it was the thing because they seem like horror directors, but they seem like they haven't done anything from the 80s since the 80s. When I was looking at, I was like, are these the directors from Fraggle Rock? I felt like the show had a very Fraggle Rock vibe.
It did. I never really. No. David Twoney directed Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
Oh, okay. So they directed the other. I didn't know there were so many Pitch Blacks.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of. But did you ever see that Pitch Black? I kind of.
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a third movie in 2013. Yeah, the same guy directed all three Riddick films.
Okay.
We got to do a Riddick podcast one day.
Vin Diesel podcast.
Yeah, I would actually. The Rock wouldn't like it, but
The Rock. I think I've seen almost every Vin Diesel movie actually.
Really? I mean, I still have to see Fast 9. I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, it sucks.
What do you think of the final battle where the Ewoks? Some people say this movie takes place before Return of the Jedi, and the reason why they say that is because this is where the Ewoks learn how to fight and how not to trust anyone.
Oh, really? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. I think it's weird. First of all, how they build the stuff they build. When he builds the glider or whatever. I don't. Are these how old are these Ewoks? That's what I want to know because again, they're 12.
I have it in my head.
But if they're 57-year-old Ewoks and they're come cuddle up to me, sleeping in the same bed with the kid, it's this is freaky.
I always had the Ewoks at 30-40 in my
30-40. Okay,
yeah.
So then it's so inappropriate.
It is very inappropriate. I mean,
a lot of this movie's inappropriate. And he goes with her, and they're like, "Hey, me and this little girl are just gonna get out of here." This creepy old guy, what the fuck? I don't know you. Stranger danger.
Yeah, but at the same time, we don't know what Ewok culture is. They might, there might be again, alien. we might land on a planet where it's like acceptable to start dating people at 5. And what are we gonna do? Be like, no, you can't. You know what I mean?
Yes, that is exactly what Americans would do. We would go and we would like start carrying that country and be like, you can't do this, it's wrong. And they'd be like, wrong? What? Wrong. And we'd be like, you're all canceled.
You're okay. We don't want to. I will not be doing business with this alien planet because they date 5-year-olds. I mean,
right? You Ewoks cannot eat in my restaurant.
You Ewoks. The Ewoks are. You see a video of Wicket. Yeah. So Wicket, you find 5-year-olds attractive? Yeah. Well, you're not allowed in my restaurant. Okay. You need
seriously.
You need
what a creep. That should be the third Ewok movie. Ewoks canceled. And she comes back. Sidel comes back and she's like 16, 17 years old. And she's like, it was inappropriate what they did.
Man, we are saving the Star Wars franchise with our ideas, I think.
I mean, hey, I you know, it's funny because people talk about Star Wars, how people are really disappointed in like, you know, like the J.J. Abrams, whatever, or like the sequels, I guess, what do you want to call them? The last 3 movies?
Yeah.
And then I guess J.J. Abrams had some quote where he's like, it's really hard to get like the next generation excited about Star Wars and, you know, make the old fans happy. And then Jon Favreau came with The Mandalorian and he like did it in the Book of Boba Fett. He's doing it.
I'll tell you the problem with fucking J.J. Abrams. I'll tell you the problem with this guy, okay? Because I saw this in Alias and Lost, all right? I can do a thing where I'm like, Jonathan Randall, you pass out, you wake up, and you're in 1920. And then you pass out again at the end of the first episode. You wake up, you're in 1921. And you're going to be like, great. Why is that happening? I don't know. But, you know what I mean? That's a great idea. But why did that happen? It's the same thing with Force Awakens. Guess what? The Empire is back. And there's a new guy leading it. Oh, how did that new guy get in power? How did the new guy? Why is Kylo Ren going to listen to this new guy, not Luke Skywalker? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I need the reason why, and then you can tell a story.
I guess, but you didn't have a lot of those reasons in the original Star Wars. Like you had to discover them, like going on, and that's what you kind of discovered in the.
I know, but I feel like Lucas had like a general outline of where you wanted to go, and or like you have to have in your head where you want to go. Like Alias, he started creating all these. Did you watch Alias or no?
Aliens.
Alias with just
oh no.
That was like kind of his first big show. He created all these little mysteries and then he never delivered on them. You start a mystery, you kind of have to have in your head where the mystery is going to go. You know, I can say to you, Bruce Wayne's parents didn't die, and a matter of fact, fucking Thomas Wayne said of a pet pedo ring. Well, how did he not die? Like I gotta have a way why Thomas Wayne has not been dead, or I gotta have that in my head before I launch.
Okay, you need more reasons.
I need more reasons. Like it's cool. It's crazy. That's a crazy twist. That Thomas Wayne. I could fucking say Hal Jordan has been dead the entire time. He never was a Green Lantern. He's been dead this entire time. He never was alive. How does that make sense? That's a cool twist, but it's got to make sense. And the same thing.
Okay, wait. How did the Green Lanterns get involved in this?
I'm just throwing out crazy plots.
Why they should? That'd be cool if they had a Green Lantern in Star Wars.
Well, they can't have Alien and Predator in Star Wars because Disney owns all of it.
They can't have what?
They can have the Alien and the Predator.
Oh, they can. All right. Hey, they should have that.
And Buffy. Buffy can be in it too.
No, and Buffy. And Mickey.
Mickey. Okay.
Mickey should just show up.
It's funny. Like all the crazy stuff.
Han shot first.
What'd you say?
I said Han shot first.
Han shot
Mickey
first.
voice.
That's it. But yeah, you know, so this is the thing also. I think people forget, and I want to see if you remember this, because I remember this. In the mid to late 80s, Star Wars was kind of dead. It was kind of like, that was cool, but we're moving on. What I remember, it was very hard until I was about 12 or 13 to talk to anyone my age about Star Wars. And I think these movies had a lot to do. It kind of plummeted in popularity. I saw a lot of when I would say, how old was I in 88, 87, 6, 7 years old? I would see a lot of Star Wars stuff in clearance, especially Return of the Jedi merch. Okay. And I don't know if do you remember that period?
A little bit. I think what happened was like, it was just like the diehard fans. It was very like nerd to like Star Wars. And then at some time,
Around that, well, I'll tell you when it picked up, when they made Dark Empire and they started making games based on the series.
Is that what it was? And then it started getting more into like, I think it was like when the prequels came out, as much as they were hated, I think it gave such an appreciation for the older films, and it just really became like a part of culture and such a huge part of pop culture that it like was undeniable, And that it was one of the first things where like, America, the world is obsessed with nostalgia. And I think Star Wars was one of the like really first things where that it really became like so popular that people are just like so into nostalgia, and that's really what sells. And I think it's nostalgia is used to like keep us down from thinking forwardly and having new thoughts.
Oh, I got to see the article. My first article I wrote. I don't know if you saw me share it, but it's called "The Death of Growing Up."
Okay.
I argue that like my argument basically like after 9/11, we've cocooned ourselves, our generation, into just watching the stuff we watched as kids. Like we're not, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Is what I was watching last night.
You're actually watching the same thing, but it's even more like that. Ghostbuster Afterlife, Cobra Kai, the Matrix movie that just came out.
Yeah.
It's all things Spider-Man. It has Tobey Maguire, it is Andrew Garfield. It's like we can't like something unless it's like, oh, I remember that from when I was a kid.
Yeah, and now we're doing it to the new generation. But I'm like, after I watched that, I read White Old Leander, which is a book from 1999. I'm out of my comfort zone. It's about this girl in the foster care system.
Yeah, I saw the movie. Good movie.
Oh, I never saw the movie, but the book is pretty good. I got to give it that. The book is actually, I was surprised how good this book was. Oprah, this is the only, I made up when I was doing all this book reading, I'm like, I'm not going to read anything Oprah recommended. And then I got to this and I found out 50 pages in that it's an Oprah book club thing. And I'm like, you know what? Oprah was right about this one. So,
I mean, Oprah's been right about a lot of things.
I mean, I got to give her credit though. She was like the last like big celebrity to get people to read. Like Joe Rogan is just literally pulling up facts from Reddit and screaming them and comments like, "You're right. Please let me hoping for you." Like
I don't know. People hate on Joe Rogan too much, I think.
Well, he's
a free thinker, and people just want to criticize him all the time because he doesn't go with the grain. And
I'll tell you my problem with him is. You want to know my problem? I heard he doesn't like news radio. That upsets me. That was a great show. He should be very proud about being on news radio.
Okay, I saw this thing where like, what was the girl on him?
Maura Tierney.
Maura Tierney.
I was the one who shared it because I looked up what he thought of news radio.
Oh, yeah, you shared that with me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I have a horrible memory. I didn't like that. Like, fuck her, because now it's like popular to hate on Joe Rogan because
she said that like years ago.
Oh, she said it years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I take it back. Then it wasn't so bad. I'm sorry.
I just was trying to figure out.
Moira, what's her name?
Maura Tierney. She's hot, bro.
Maura. Okay.
Dude, like I know. I was just trying to figure out what he thought of news radio because you can't find. And he doesn't really like. And I'm like. I think it's one of the best sitcoms in the 90s. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel that strongly about it. I mean, great cast, Phil Hartman.
You gotta go back and watch.
Dave Foley is incredible. Yeah, I mean,
I
was never a fan of Joe Rogan in his early work. I wasn't a fan of him on Mad TV. I didn't care much.
He was on Mad TV?
He was on Mad TV.
Oh, wow.
I saw, I was never into, I like some of news radio, but I was never into his character. Didn't give a shit about Fear Factor, but I think what he's doing now, I kind of like him. Yeah.
Go back and watch news radio. There's a whole episode.
I'm never watching news radio.
I hate you. There's a whole episode about like
Andy Dick sexually harassed me, Ray.
Oh, he did. Was that at Caroline's?
No, he didn't. I'm just joking.
Oh, I could see it.
I did get sexually harassed by like I think he was in an 80s sitcom though.
Anthony Clark. Anthony Clark. I remember that.
No, not Anthony Clark either. But he seemed like he was down with some other,
He hit on. Oh no, he was sleeping with one of the waiters.
But when I was an intern at Saturday Night Live, I got like I had a weird thing with one of the writers there who used to be on a sitcom.
A writer he went from was it Skippy from?
No, but anyways, I'm not trying to like Me Too this guy or anything. So
you can Me Too him off the air.
Move on.
Was it Alan Thicke?
I don't need to Me Too that smile. I'll tell you one thing about Alan Thicke: his pubes weren't what.
Another minute. don't waste. You know, that's a good song to sing to a girl when you're raping her. Don't waste another minute on your crying.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever be raping anybody. All right.
No, but I mean,
what a weird thing to say. This is a good song to play when you're raping somebody. Like, oh, hey, check out my new rape Spotify playlist that I just put together.
Show me that smile. That's actually a pretty creepy song. Anyway,
just oops, I did it again.
Oops. No, that's Britney. You know, I like the fact that Britney's just going after her family. Why not?
Fuck Britney. I have no compassion for Britney, and like go away, Britney.
I have a prediction she's gonna die when Elvis died at 42. She's not like on the same path as him.
Oh, all right. I like Elvis better.
Elvis is a pedophile.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry. Was he really, or just like 18-year-old girls?
No, 14.
Oh, yeah.
I
don't like Elvis anymore. Anybody?
Look,
the king is dead.
If you're a celebrity, if you're like someone getting women thrown at you, I'll excuse 18, even 17, because New York state law says it's not illegal. But 14, you're definitely a pedophile.
Oh, okay. No, I like 18, 17. I'm saying no. 18, okay, and up. That's what's legal.
Yeah, 18's legal. Yeah,
18's legal.
Oh. But this podcast,
anything under 18 is inappropriate.
Well, okay, but
I think
I'm not saying, but like if fucking Elvis was to come back from the dead and bang a 17-year-old, I'm not judging. First of all, he came back from the dead. He can do it.
I am. I'm like, first of all, he's gonna be all like decrepit and everything, like the crypt keeper.
No, I mean he descends from heaven and starts banging.
Oh! It's a very Jesus-like coming back. That'd be great if he did it like right over a Trump rally or something. He's like, I'm here to make America great again. Whoa. Anyway. And they're all like, you're the king. You know how like the Trump people think JFK Jr. is going to come back from the dead and be Trump's running mate in 2024? It'd be so much cooler if it was Elvis.
Oh, if it was Elvis, I'd vote for Trump.
I mean, if it was Elvis, I still wouldn't vote for Trump, but I wouldn't hate it so much if he became the president again.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't really like Joe Biden, to be honest with you. I'm glad I didn't vote for either one of them because I was like, I'm not going to get COVID. I'm going to get it in 2 years from now.
This is such a weird thing. I don't love Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden's the best. I know you're not a Republican, but so many Republicans like to do that. Like, well, Joe Biden sucks. It's like, yeah, Joe Biden does suck, but not as bad as Trump. You know, that's like you're comparing the Ewok movie to like the prequels. Okay, bro, Trump is the Ewok movie and Biden is the prequels.
But bro, I told somebody about the anti-Semitism we have going on around here in New York, and they went, "Well, what about Biden? That has nothing to do with that." Like, every time I bring up that someone did something wrong, you're like, "What about Biden?" Like, that's like, hey, your Ewok movie is pretty terrible. Yeah, well, what about Friday the 13th Part 5? That wasn't.
No, absolutely, it makes no sense the way people want to like. It's so crazy.
I know,
but what anti-Semitism?
We talked about this. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But it's you, by the way. You're the anti-Semite.
Apparently,
the novels, the Star Wars novels in the 90s were pretty popular, and I read them. But I always knew the problem with the 90s Star Wars novels, this is before Phantom Menace, is there was only so many places you could go because at the time they can only draw from 3 movies. You couldn't draw from the Ewoks movie, and why would you want to? You couldn't draw from the holiday special, and why would you want to? And in the cartoons. So, like, I feel like now that there's so much Star Wars media, when you write a novel or you write a comic book, there's so much to pull from, and you can tell really great stories. Like, you know, in the new Star Wars comic, at least of 2 years ago, Poe Dameron's parents are helping Luke and Leia track down Jabba the Hutt, which I think is fucking cool.
I think that's cool too. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and like, but
that's kind of like Marvel makes the comics, right?
Yeah,
that's Marvel's genius with the shared universe and connecting everything, because that's what people like. People are like, oh, I know that. Mm-hmm. You know, if people are familiar with something or people recognize it, it gives them like this instant like affection towards it, and it's a little weird. Like new things, try things that are different. Like, don't be so close-minded. Oh, I only like this because I like. No,
I agree. And that's what my whole point is. Like, you know, because I do a Disney podcast. You can fucking love Star Wars. You can fucking collect the figures, but venture out of Star Wars. Venture out of the Marvel shit and read DC comics. No, I'm joking. Read books. Like, study about the world. Like, you know, like really, you know,
Well, I was reading up, you know, like that's kind of the difference between like a geek and a nerd. A nerd likes to have knowledge about all things, and a geek just wants to be like know everything about one thing.
But the funny thing is about I was going to bring up when before Phantom Menace, in the Star Wars novels, because they had nothing to pull from, constantly would have scenes where Han and Luke would be like, "Can you remember the Battle of Yavin? Wasn't that crazy?" Like, because there's nothing else that you could pull from the, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing that really happened. You could only, you couldn't reference the other books. So it was like, man, remember the Death Star? Those were crazy days, huh? Anyway, let's go fucking shoot some. I don't know. Let's go fight
some Ewoks so they don't make another dumb movie.
But I think also a lot to do with Star Wars is I think fans after Return of the Jedi were like, what's next? And then they saw these dopey movies and they're like, well, the story was told. Luke and Darth Vader made peace. Han and Leia are fucking. There's nowhere else to go. And I think people moved on until Lucas said you can never move on and created the Phantom Menace.
Is that like a Star Wars quote? You can never move on.
You can never move on, actually.
Hey, as much as people hate the prequels, they revitalized the franchise.
I like, and I'll get into this more with future guests because you're banned from the podcast after today.
My God, you're gonna make me wait another 2 years? I'll probably kill myself by then.
No, I think I'm doing X-Men movies after this. You can come back for one of those.
Yes, I've seen them all.
So we can talk more about how Elvis would be cool. We can talk more about if Elvis came back from the dead, started banging.
Elvis and Brett Ratner being sexually inappropriate together. Oh, and Bryan Singer. Holy shit. So many of the X-Men. I mean, Elvis has nothing to do with X-Men, but both Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner have like inappropriate sexual relations, right? They're kind of like banned from Hollywood because of it now.
Yeah, well, if they were making money for Hollywood, they wouldn't be banned. But
Bryan Singer still, I thought, was doing some like making money, right?
Stuff. Yeah. I always think the reason why the Harvey Weinstein thing came down as hard as it did is because he stopped making money and moves for people.
You think?
Yeah, I think that.
Fuck him. I feel like people finally.
No. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying like, oh, poor Harvey. I'm just saying that like I feel like if his movies were still making a killing or he still had stuff people wanted, that stuff still would have been hidden. So.
Well, I think Bryan Singer's X-Men, the opening sequence with Magneto at the concentration camp is one of the best like intros.
I know Matthew Vaughn did it better in First Class.
You think? I guess. I don't know. I like this where with the fence. Oh, it's so good. So good.
No, it is good.
But fuck that Bryan Singer guy. But The Usual Suspects is also a good movie.
That's also a pretty good
one. How do you? It's so hard to separate.
I can separate him.
Separate the artist from the craziness. Yeah.
I'll separate with that guy. It's a little bit harder when it's someone like Michael Jackson, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, fuck Michael Jackson.
No, I know you're a big fan.
I was at a Chuck E. Cheese and they were playing Michael Jackson. I'm like, what the hell is they playing Michael Jackson at Chuck E. Cheese? And what the hell am I doing here either? No.
Yeah, what were you doing at Chuck E. Cheese?
No, I was just, it's a joke. I was
doing open mic?
Yeah, right. I was applying for a job as one of the animatronic animals. Times are tough.
You're like, do you have a dragon? You may not know this, but I created Chasing the
Dragon. What about Point of No Return, Ray?
Oh yeah, Point of No Return. That was a way longer show.
Point of No Return, yeah, it was like 3 years. That show. That was a fun show.
I loved it.
Yeah, man.
That show changed my life.
Oh, thanks. So nice of you to say. I wish it would have changed mine. But hey, I'm funnier than ever, and my time will come. I just want to entertain.
Listen, I think you're fucking hilarious. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you won the Andy Kaufman Award. I don't care.
Thanks.
Fuck Christian Shaw. She did win. She won that. Did she win the year that you went in?
Did she win that year? I think she did.
I think she did. So like,
wow, she's doing so good. I remember talking to her online, standing, waiting to go inside or something.
Oh, I thought you meant like on Instant Messenger or something.
No, she was really nice. Like we were waiting to go in. It was in the village, whatever the show where they had the first show or whatever, and we were talking, and I was talking with her, and she was super sweet, super nice girl. So
see, if you won, you would have denied her from her destiny.
That's a good thing I was qualified.
But I still say
it's a good thing I was never in the contest to begin with, and
you
showed up. No, I wasn't. They took me out. They just like felt bad and they let me perform or something because I refused.
I am in control of history.
I refuse to say no.
Much like fucking much like Republicans. Like we're not teaching that history where you weren't in the contest. Not only were you you won.
Thanks.
Christian Shaw came in 4th place.
I appreciate that.
Behind Yabba Dabba Doo the Genie, and wasn't there a guy in blue or something that was dancing?
Was there? I don't
Some of those
know.
Andy Kaufman awards.
I try to forget all about that.
Not the year that you were in. Some of the Andy Kaufman awards, the people they had on made me want to blow my fucking brains out. Like, just
Really?
one guy did a dramatic reading of Rocky III's novelization and played Def Leppard on a cassette tape, and people laughed. I think, like, did people laugh because they think I'm supposed to do this because this is supposed to be weird, like Andy Kaufman, or were they generally think it's funny? I mean, I still remembered it, so it clearly was memorable. But
Hey, I did make it to the New York Comedy Club Festival special on Comedy Central and ABC, though. I got a clip, so that was nice.
you did. I watched it with my mom. I said I work with that guy.
Yeah.
How come you're not in the special? I said he showed up and wouldn't leave. That's why. I remember. I think Greg got mad about that. Oh, how did you get in the special?
Yeah, they were pissed that I went, but whatever. Well, who cares?
Who cares? You know what?
The future's going to be better.
This year is going to be great. I'll tell you why, because we started off with the Ewoks film.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh, the year can't be as bad as that girl's acting. There are so many scenes where I'm like, did they just like prop her up on something? And they're like yelling at her, like, do this, say this. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. No, like, oh my gosh. I looked her up to see like what she's up to, and it was nothing. And I was like, thank goodness.
Yeah, have you seen a picture of her though? She looks rough. She looks like she's been through some boyfriends.
Yeah, she looks like she got gangbanged by the Ewoks. With Wilford fucking Grimley standing creepily, like, I don't want to participate, but I do. No, I don't. Maybe
I think
they asked me. No.
Hello, child. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So creepy.
What a bad movie, man. I mean, I have a friend who's a lot of nostalgia for this, but he also he just likes everything that's like kind of nerdy. I never trust people who like everything that's like geek related. I just don't. It's like, if they have.
I had to watch this movie in 3 different sittings, by the way.
Wow. I did it.
I was like, I was like totally losing my attention. Like, this is horrible. I got to stop. And then like I did some stuff, and then I was like, let me watch some more. And then the same thing happened. And then I'm like, let me finish this fucking movie.
You know, always bad when it takes you a day to watch it, and it's like Jesus Christ. No, but I hate people who like I remember like sometimes I'll see people on Twitter be like, stop complaining, just be happy they're making this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not happy. If it's done wrong, why would I want? Like, I'm not. I don't owe you a thank you because you made a fucking Spider-Man or a fucking Star Wars movie. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Like, it has to be good.
Jesus Christ, this was fucking Tobey Maguire's back. Who gives a shit?
No, that was a good movie.
If Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were not in that movie, everyone would hate that movie. No,
people be like, worst movie ever. Same movie, but they don't show up. Worst movie ever.
Like if it was all the same, everything was the same, but they didn't have the other Spider-Man in it, people would be like, this movie's so dumb, there's sort of no point. Even if Toby and Andrew were, that's the only reason people like the movie is because fucking Toby and Andrew are in it.
So are you getting? I'm getting says you don't like this movie.
It's not that I don't like it. I was entertained, and I love the MCU. I think Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. I was really happy to see Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx, the Doc Ock actor. I can't put for
Alfred Molina.
Yeah, Alfred Molina. I can't believe I escaped his name. The Sandman guy. I love them all, but I just felt like the movie was just about nostalgia. It was just about nostalgia.
That's everything now, though. That's everything.
It's unfortunate, right?
Yeah, everything is like, history. And like now we're getting to 2000s nostalgia, which I kind of feel like 90s nostalgia is not even a thing. Like nobody's like, oh my God, Pulp Fiction's back, my heart. It's like we jumped right from like 1989 to fucking 2002. Like I never see really any 90s nostalgia.
Well, no, they are. They make like Friends stuff and
yeah, but they didn't have like a thing like I'm talking about like season like.
And they just have like a Friends reunion not too long ago.
Yeah, but that's not like I'm talking about season 11 of Friends or something. I'm not talking like a Friends reunion. They did that for the Bob Newhart show. Like they did that for those things. They sit around and be like, remember that episode we how like when the cast sits around and reminisces. They did that for Mary Tyler Moore. They did that for Dick Van.
Yeah, they just did it for Harry Potter, right?
Harry Potter. Yeah, but they've always done stuff like that. But I don't consider that to be like what we're talking about. Because like they did that for so many like All in the Family had a special, Married with Children had a special like that where they sit around the set and talk about the old episodes. That's just a thing that you do, you know. I'm talking about like if they did season 11 of Friends.
Okay,
don't be surprised if they don't do it.
Don't do it. Well, they have the stupid Sex and the City remake.
That sounds horrible. I mean, I thought the original Sex and the City was unwatchable. And I'm like, did they sit around and be like, how do you make something bad even worse? That's the thing. It's like, hey, everybody, we're back. My computer froze. That's what I get for talking about Sex in the City in the middle of a fucking Star Wars podcast.
Right? The Ewoks made Ray's computer.
They were like, stop shitting on our film. But before it freezes again, Randall, where can people find you on the internet?
Yo, check me out at Jonathan Randall on Instagram, on TikTok. ThatJonathanRandallGuy.com is my website.
Fucking great. And guys, if you like this episode, we've done all the Star Wars films leading up to this. Next week is Phantom Menace with another great comedian. We're finally going to get into the prequels. Subscribe to the podcast, Gootz Disney Pod. Follow me on Instagram and Instagram and Twitter, Ray Gootz. And follow the podcast on Instagram, Gootz Disney Pod. Jonathan, sorry for getting interrupted when we're going to go on a rant about Sex in the City. Fuck them, though. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for having me back, Ray. Look forward to doing it again.
You'll be on soon. Hopefully the computer won't freeze. Thank you, man.
Later, brother.